Now, chances are that you've caught my earlier recording where I talked about propaganda. Now, the impression I get even from some of the comments I've received, some of them via email, is that a lot of people don't understand something about propaganda. Propaganda is necessary. Let me repeat that. Propaganda is necessary. If it was not necessary, it would not be used. And governments use propaganda all the time. Governments use propaganda a lot. I don't think it would be possible to run a country, to run a state without propaganda. You need it. It's a necessity. And that's because a country is bound to go through various problems. It's bound to go through challenges. And without propaganda, it will be very difficult to keep the nation together. Now, let me give you an example from during the years of the world wars. Yeah, when the World War II, for example, was going on, the British government had to use a lot of propaganda to keep people sane. Yeah, even when they were losing very badly against the Germans, their whole idea was to give the Britons the idea that they were winning and that they were ahead. Even when resources ran so low that they had to find a way to involve the Americans in the war, yeah, they kept on giving a positive impression that all things were okay. Yeah, and even when the Americans got involved, they didn't say, "Oh, now we were very broke. Our saviors come in. Now we're going to win the war." No, no, no. They just kept on saying, "No, it's good. We have gotten a boost. We're already going to win anyway, but we've gotten a boost." Propaganda is important because people get discouraged. Mass hysteria, mass discouragement can destroy a nation. So propaganda is necessary in that respect. Now, when it comes to politics, government and politics are twins joined at the hip. Yeah. So you cannot expect anybody in politics not to use propaganda, especially to win an election. That is a connection. And anybody who would not want to use propaganda in politics would be a fool, because that's what it is. That is what is used. It's a very important tool. It's a key tool. And, it would be like, for instance, if you told people the truth all the time. Now, this is why I say politics is a very dirty game. And if anybody is going to get involved in politics, you had better understand very clearly what they're getting involved in. Okay? No matter how good you are, no matter how principled you are, politics is a terrible, terrible trade. Yeah? So, at one point or the other, you will need to use propaganda. For instance, you're trailing behind your opponent. Yeah? You're losing this election. The man has got, or the woman has got tens and thousands of votes ahead of you. Okay? Are you going to lie down and just roll over and give up? No way. You're going to give the impression to your supporters that things are still okay. That actually, this lead which your opponent is supposed to have is exaggerated. Now, why would you want to do that? You'd want to do that as your schemers, as your handlers, try and find a strategy to turn around the election. Because, this is during the campaign, rough and tumble of campaign. Yeah, so you would not tell them the truth and tell them, "Oh, I'm losing very badly. Oh, I appeal to you, people help me." That is going against human nature. And in politics, you're dealing with human nature. And human nature receives what they're told. Now, I know what I'm saying are very terrible things. I know what I'm saying might not be well received, but it is the truth. And I believe I promised you right from the beginning, right here, that I will tell you the truth without fear or favor, without kachumbari, without seasoning, without lessening the truth or putting it in kinder words. I promised you that. And when it gets too hot, it gets too sensitive, I'll put it in my Club 1999. Yeah? But I will never tell you a lie. I will never water down the truth. And that is the truth about propaganda. People win election campaigns on propaganda. People win presidential elections all over the world, not only in Kenya, using carefully organized and managed propaganda. Now, let us get this right, because I know some smart Alec is going to come up and say, "No, you're talking about public relations. Public relations and propaganda are different." I worked for an international public relations company briefly, and I know, and I've studied public relations. I know there's the difference between public relations and propaganda. And I'm here to tell you, I'm not talking about public relations. I'm talking about propaganda. Okay? So bear that in mind. If I say some propaganda tactic that was used by your favorite candidate or that was used by your political party, which you love with all your heart, don't take it personally. This is normal in politics. This is the rough and tumble in politics. Propaganda is just another tool of politics, just like a campaign poster is. Okay? Thank you very much for your time. This is Chris Kumekucha.